He was really desperate for love, desperate for attention. I just was like, I can't fathom talking to someone like this because it was too much. It was really overwhelming. Of course, y'all know I had to bring y'all a story time. Boom. Once upon a time, when I was dating, I met this guy. We're gonna call him Greg. I met Greg when I was shopping in a grocery store. At this time, I don't even think I was trying to date. Like, I was just minding my business. I was shopping, and the goal was for me to get groceries that day. Now, I remember specifically I was looking for a particular item, and he was available. He was like, "You looking for something?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually I am." It was some type of chicken tenders or chicken nuggets or something that was like at the top shelf or whatever. So he helped me get the chicken nuggets down, but it seemed like we kept carrying on conversation. Like, he didn't want to end the conversation there, and I didn't want to end the conversation there either, because I noticed that he was a nice looking guy, and I'm like, okay, what are the odds? You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's a nice guy. So we were talking, and while I was doing my grocery shopping, we were talking the whole time. I mean, we're just striking up conversation, basically, you know, that he is the manager of the store, and also, you know, he just started working there. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I was just letting him know, you know, what area I was from, just basic conversation or whatever. But I knew I was about to go check out, so we exchanged numbers, and of course I gave him my math, I gave him my number, and yeah, so that was like the first day. He came off cool. Everything was good. Like, he was the type of person that you had to constantly give reassurance. Like, I don't know if this was an insecure thing, or like if he thought I was out of his caliber or whatever of woman to talk to, but he would always ask me, "Are we talking? Like, are we really talking? Are we in the talking stage?" And I would say, "Yeah, we are talking." Like, because the first time he asked me that was like when we started texting or whatever, and like when I had got home and he had got home, of course, and got situated. He was like, "So are we talking?" I'm like, I mean, yeah, we're talking. You know, we're talking to each other. I guess he was like, "Are we getting to know each other?" So basically, I'm like, "Yeah, we're talking." He was like, oh, "Okay, cool." So boom. Fast forward, we try to find something to do for the weekend or whatever, because it was getting close to the weekend. I think it was like Thursday going on Friday. So he was like, yeah, we should find something to do. So I went on Eventbrite. I'm not sure if y'all know what Eventbrite is. It's like a site that you can go on to find things to do locally, or, you know, anywhere else or whatever in different states. So boom, I had found a Mardi Gras party to go to. So I was like, oh, this would be cute. And they had like drinks, and they had games, and it was just like supposed to be like a parade, supposed to give you like the whole feel like you're actually there for the Mardi Gras. So I was like, oh, so I let him know about it, and he bought the tickets, of course. So okay, he bought the tickets and stuff. I got to get my drink ready. And today we're drinking on some Moscato. You know, I like to get mine good and full. It's good, it's good. So we're heading on our way to get to the event, which was the Mardi Gras event that we got tickets for. So we get there, you know, we were in line for like 10 minutes. It wasn't like a long wait or anything like that. Let me just give y'all an idea of how everything was laid out. So basically, we went inside. They gave us wristbands or whatever in regards to the event, and also we could do like, I think, raffles and stuff throughout the night or whatever. So basically we were getting all set up for all of that. And like during this time, in my mind, like when I'm talking to somebody or I'm trying to get to know somebody, I want to know how they are and how they, you know, how they interact with people and just how they are in public, right? Like just to see how they are. So when we get in, like we're walking around scoping the scenery. There's like all kinds of live music. There's a bar in the center. We walk around as a restaurant. We decided that we're going to eat later on that night. So keep that in mind. So it's real early as we get there, because I think the event started at 9. We got there probably like at 9:30 or so. We didn't want to be in a long line, so we got there real early. So, we're looking around, and of course, the crowd is gathering, people are gathering and gathering, and he's looking around and, scoping the scenery, seeing what's, around him, which is cool. Nothing's wrong with that. So they start playing reggae music, right? So me, I love reggae music. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna dance.
Get up here.
Look.
Let's dance.
I'm gonna be out there on the floor dancing. So boom, I'm going out on the dance floor, I'm dancing. I asked him to hold my camera and to hold my bag. He was like, okay, cool. I also asked him to record me, so he was recording me as I was, I was dancing, listening to the music and everything like that, just vibing out. And I think he noticed that there were like guys behind me and they were watching me. Mind you, there's men and women everywhere, all shapes and sizes, colors, everything. Like everybody was there having a good old time. Now, I don't mind a man being overprotective or anything like that, but just, keep your cool, keep your cool. Now, there were men that were standing behind me, they were just, like I said, it was a crowd of people. They weren't trying to dance with me, I don't think, but he spotted them and he was giving them a mean mug, like, and I was like, okay, in my mind, like, calm down. Like, he walks up on me like, do you see them? Do you see them looking at you? And I'm saying to myself, yeah, they're gonna look, they're men. Like, the people are gonna look, like, I'm dancing, I'm having fun or whatever. So, like, I started, during that time when he started telling me this, I started paying a little bit more attention to, like, what he's doing. So as I'm vibing out and I'm dancing to the beat, dancing to the music and everything, feeling the vibe, because, like, reggae is I love reggae. He's like basically standing behind me, like I'm dancing or whatever, but I noticed him, he's like moving like left to right as I'm dancing. So he was doing that and I'm just like, I whispered to him, I was like, what are you doing? He was like, these men are watching you and it's making me feel uncomfortable. So I was like, okay. So I stopped dancing and I moved somewhere else and he started following me. So we moved out of the way, and I just noticed that, like, it was, I don't know, it was a lot of men there and was a lot of women there as well, but he was just looking around like, he just seemed like he was real intimidated. I don't know what it was, but in my mind, I was just like, just enjoy yourself, enjoy the vibe, we're just here, we're just chilling or whatever. I was just like, okay, I'm just, and mind you, I'm just keeping mental notes of, what he's saying, what he's doing, just how he moves in a crowd. Because like I said, this is when you want to pay attention when you're getting to know somebody, like how they're acting when they're around people, like do they get overwhelmed or whatever like that. So boom, that was that. Then we went to the restaurant eventually. We sat down. It was really intimate. We ordered our food. Of course, he paid for our food. Didn't have any problems there. I took my camera out and I started recording, looking around and recording. As I should, because I do YouTube. So I was recording and things of that sort. This man hopped into the camera and was like, you don't want to put me in the camera? I'm like, no. Like, and I had to turn my camera. I'm like, no, like, there's nothing in stone. He was like, you don't want me to be on the camera? I was like, it's not that I don't want you to be on the camera. It's like, I'm not ready for all that. Like, we're just getting to know each other. So you need to stay, like, I didn't tell him he need to stay in the background, but in my mind, I'm like, you need to stay in the background because, like, we're just cool or whatever. I see if you want to take a picture, like some pictures. We could take like some friendly pictures. That's cool, but you're not about to be in my vlog. Like, no, you're not. That was a little weird. And like he slid himself over. You know how there's like a booth and it's like a person sits on that side and a person sits on my side. And he slid on my side and scooted me all the way over. Like, I'm like, okay, you're getting a little too close, because I didn't mind. At first he was sitting across from me and I'm like, okay, that's cool, you can sit over there or whatever and we can talk. We were having a good conversation. He had told me that he was once before married. We didn't really get too deep in it, but I found out in that conversation that he had only been divorced for 8 months. And in my mind, I'm like, dang, and you're already out here trying to date again. But some people were like, actually, okay, 8 months is almost a year, so or whatever. I was like, okay, maybe I'm tripping or whatever. That's just maybe how, some men move. They don't mind, stepping out there and starting to date. Okay, cool, Buki. That's fine. That's what you want to do? All right, cool. One thing I did not like is he was like real clingy already. Now, I know that we're at an event and we're trying to get to know each other, but like when he put his arm around my side, he snatched me in real close and was like, trying to talk to me or trying to hold me. And I'm just like, I was uncomfortable. I didn't say anything, but I'm just like, sitting there like, okay, and he noticed I wasn't saying anything. So he eventually, took his arm from around me, but he made me feel real uncomfortable. He was like trying to snatch me towards him. Like, chill, like you need to chill out. Like you're doing a little bit too much. You're doing a little bit too much. That was another red flag. Like, it's okay to enjoy yourself, but don't be so like, he was real pushy. Like, he gave pushy and clingy. Those are two things he, and we were sitting there, like I said, we were having good conversation. He paid for dinner. Dinner was great. But he then, again, at that time, he was like, so are we talking? Like, are we talking? Are we like in the talking stage? I was like, so you seem like the type of person. I said, I noticed you asked me, this is your second time asking me, do you need reassurance all the time? He was like, no, I'm just making sure that like we talking. And I was like, yeah, we're talking. Like, why wouldn't we be? Like, what are you even talking about? So the night goes on and, I have to take him home, drop him off or whatever. And we're heading back in the car. And for me, when I meet someone, I'm not like all over them or like touching them. This man tried to put his hand on the inner part of my thigh. Like, he was doing too much. This is me driving him home. Like, he don't have a car, I'm driving him home. Okay, cool, whatever. Like, I was so close to telling him he needed to take an Uber because why are you touching me in that way? I didn't give you permission. I was like, I moved his hand. I was like, excuse me. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, because that's a bit much or whatever. Like, bad enough when I tried to get out the car, like I gave him a hug or whatever. He was trying to lean in for a kiss, but I was like, no, I'm not ready to kiss you yet or whatever. Mind you, this is the first date, y'all. This is the first date or whatever. It's the first time, spend time together. So fast forward to the next day, we're texting on the phone, we're talking, we're FaceTiming, things of that sort or whatever. So I'm, trying to get to know him better. And, after the first date, I feel like everything went good. I just feel that he should have been a little bit more honest. So basically we went deeper into like why his relationships ended. So his first marriage, he was saying ended because they fell apart, and also he was saying that she was physically abusing him. So in my mind, I was sympathetic to that. I'm like, dang, you were physically abused or, mentally, however you were abused. I'm sorry to hear that. And that's the wife that he was saying that he was divorced from for the 8 months or whatever. Then he slips up and says, oh yeah, because my first wife. I'm like, first wife? How many times were you married? He was like, oh, I was married 2 times. I'm like, so when were you going to tell me this? And he was like, well, I thought maybe I was wrong because I didn't tell you. And I was like, yeah, because I mean, if I would have known you was married twice, for me personally, I'm not really trying to talk to somebody that's been married that many times already and already been divorced. And then he told me about his first marriage. He was saying that he was physically abused as well. So I'm putting this together. So your first marriage was physically abused, you divorced. Your second marriage was physical abuse and you divorced, and you've been single for 8 months. So basically he was like apologizing and just, please don't stop talking to me. And I'm sorry, I should have told you that when we first started talking. Which he should have. He should have shared that with me. So boom, fast forward, we go deeper into the conversation and things of that sort. And I tell him, my situation, I have, one daughter, and, I've been dating, and, I'm looking for something serious. Basically everything that he's looking for. So he says. And so he's like, yeah, because, I can see us getting together in 3 months, and if we keep talking like this, we'll be in a relationship by the summertime. Who is he talking to? By the summertime? I was like, well, I don't want to rush into anything. I just want to take my time and get to know you. And he was like, well, we're talking, aren't we? I was like, yeah, we are talking. But, I want to take my time. I don't want to, just say that you're my man because you want to date me in 3 months. And he was like, yeah, because, if we're talking, he was like, you need to let all your other little boyfriends and your little friends know that, we're about to be serious in 3 months. Sir, what you're not going to do, you're already giving pushy and you're giving clingy. What you're not going to do is try to force me into a relationship and I barely even know you. Like, we're not doing that. Ladies, make sure you do background checks. Men too, for women, make sure you do background checks because we got to watch out for people. Like, he seemed like he was trying to hurry up and, you're my girlfriend, I'm just like, chill out. I'm trying to vibe out with you, get to know you. So I remember like us talking within the second week, And basically, you know how you have conversation, you're like, what you like your person to wear. Like, for example, I was like, boxes of briefs. He was like, boxers. And I was like, oh, well, I like my man to wear briefs because da 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 da. And he was like, oh, really? And so this really creeped me out. So he was already on Amazon ordering briefs. Sir, I'm just speaking like in general. That don't mean for you to order it now. So that was one thing. Like, I'm just like, okay, you moving too fast. Like, just chill out. I'm just telling you like how I feel about certain things. And I was also talking about, you know, how like my guy to dress, like his style and things of that sort. This man was online like screenshotting and sending me stuff to look at as far as, you know, what he would, I guess, if I would find that attractive. And there was nothing wrong with that. I don't mind like giving him my opinion or nothing like that, but it was just a little weird to me. Like, just enjoy the conversation and get to know me. Like, it seemed like he was trying to emulate everything that I wanted right then and there, if that makes sense. Now, maybe this part may have not been weird for people who are trying to get to know each other, but he asked me my ring size. I told him my ring size. And so he had sent screenshots of, or went online, I think it was on Zales or whatever website it was. And he was like showing me which, like asking me which ring I would like. And I was just being in general. I was like, oh, I would like the teardrop one. I think this one's really nice. Or I don't think I said solitaire. I said some other type of rings or whatever. He was like, nope, we'll pick which one. So I'm just looking like, okay, maybe he's just, you know, wanting to know. So I picked one and I forgot how much it was or whatever. And he was like, do you think this is enough for a guy to spend on the ring? And I'm like, I'm not really materialistic. So as long as it's real, long as it's real, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. And so what he did was he saved it and put it in his, put it in his screenshots or whatever he did or whatever, and was like, you know, if I'm around in 3 months, you never know, like, this could happen. I'm like, but you just got divorced recently. Like, why are you trying to rush? Like, another thing that he did that I did not like was he was already telling people that I was his girl. I'm just like, why do people do that? They still do that? Like, can y'all just wait, just enjoy the moment. Like, actually get to know the people before you start telling your mom and your sister that you met this girl. And I get it, you're excited or whatever, because I wanted to tell my mom and them the same thing, but I'm like, no, I'm not doing that no more until something is written in stone. And he's like telling everybody, like, he told his sister, he told his brother, he told his mom, told his dad, and they can't wait to meet me. And I'm just like, sir, we've only been talking for 2 weeks. Mind you, all this type of stuff is overwhelming for me because we literally just met, and like, I get overwhelmed easily, and I'll be wanting to block you because what are you talking about? So the next day we start talking on the phone again, and he was like, so are we talking? Like, are we getting to know each other? Like, are we, you know, serious with just talking with one person? Like, I'm talking to you, you're not talking to nobody else? And I told him, I'm like, we're talking, but I'm still not putting all my eggs in one basket. Like, I didn't literally tell him like that, but I'm like, I'm talking to you, but like, we're just getting to know each other. So I don't want to have you thinking one thing and doing another, because I'm actively dating, which means I could be talking to you, or if I decide I want to talk to somebody else, I can as well. He was like, yeah, because I'm just talking to you and nobody else, and I don't think that you should be talking to nobody else either. I'm like, okay, you already told me this already. Like, you already told me. You asked me, this is your 3rd time asking me, are we actually talking? And I told you we are. Like, in my head, I'm just like, yo, I'm getting sick and tired of this. Like, why do you need so much reassurance? Like, it's like you're doing the most. Like, so I told him I was going to call him back. I hung up the phone. I did not call him back. I texted him. I was like, hey, you know, you seem like you're a good guy, but I don't think this is going to work out. And so he called me back and I answered the phone. He was like, what are you talking about? What's wrong? What did I do? Like, what can I do to fix it? Like, if I was doing too much, just tell me I was doing too much. I'm like, I feel that you are a nice guy, but I don't feel like you the person for me. Because for me, like, in my head, I'm just like, you're really clingy, bro. Like, you need to calm down. It's like, you're just in a hurry. Why are you such in a rush? Like, calm down. It's like you don't savor the actual moment. You're just like trying to like hurry up and get me to be your girl. Hurry up and like, you're calculating the months and the weeks and the days and stuff like this. You're already talking about a wedding ring. You just got divorced not so long ago. You only been single for 8 months. So what's the hurry? So yeah, I cut him off. I was like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. Like, it was the longest pause ever in history on the phone with him. I told him that, and he just sat in silence. It was like crickets. And I was like, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or anything like that, but, you know, I don't think this is going to work out. And he was like, okay, all right. And so he hung up the phone. So, you know, fast forward to like a few weeks later, I still shopped at the same store. I still, you know, it's a grocery store. I still shopped at the same store. Like, I remember when going into the store, he would see me and he would be the one from one end of the store to the other end, like he was ducking me. And I didn't care. I'm just like, okay, sir, we don't talk anymore, so why are you doing all that? Like, he was ducking and stuff. I think he changed his shifts and everything. I mean, for his mental health or whatever, do whatever you need to do, Bookie. Do whatever that makes you feel, you know what I'm saying, secure or whatever. I wasn't trying to bother him or anything like that. I still shopped at that grocery store. That was just the same grocery store that I shop at. It was right around the corner. You can't rush stuff. Things take time. I know you don't have to put a time limit on it, like, oh, it's going to take a year for me to get to know him, or it's going to take a year for me to get intimate with him, or whatever the situation is. But you do not need to rush things. Like, everything does not need to be rushed. Like, when you rush, I'm going to run, because like when you rush the same way, you like hurry up the same way it'll end. If it starts off that way, it can end that way, the same way. I'm a firm believer of that. Like, I just feel like if he would have just took his time and stopped trying to rush everything, like the reassuring thing is okay, but like when he started doing it like every other day just to confirm that we're talking, I was starting to think there's something wrong with you, because I told you this the other day that we're talking. So what do you like? I didn't get it. Like, he was a handsome looking guy. There was nothing wrong with him physically. Intellectually, he had great conversation. He just was in a rush to do everything. Everything was just like, he was just in a hurry to do. Like, do y'all know people who be rushing, or have y'all ever experienced like talking to someone who wanted to rush y'all into a relationship, or in the bed, I should say, or, you know, just rushing you to do everything like relationship wise, and you barely even known them for like 2 weeks? Like, comment below. I'm not sure if y'all ever dealt with this, but like, it was just a fly-by-night situation. I had to get rid of him. Like, I had to block him. And I was trying to understand where he was coming from, but it was really overwhelming. I couldn't do it. Like, it was too much. Like, I enjoyed the company and the conversation. It was a bit much, and it made me lose interest fast with him. So that ended up making me cut him off and just not talking to him anymore. But again, that is my story time. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.